Good morning. You're now listening to Kingston Community Radio, airing on FM 92.5 and AM 920 WGHQ, Kingston, New York. This programming is brought to you by our listeners and corporate underwriters who are interested in presenting local community radio. The opinions expressed on this program do not represent those of Pamel Broadcasting or Kingston Community Radio. Listeners are encouraged to send in $10 per month to help bring this program to you. Mail your contributions to Kingston Community Radio, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York 12402. For more information or to donate online, visit our website at mykcr.org. And good morning. This is another great KCR day, and it is a terrific Tuesday. And it is Tuesday, October 19th today, and 41 degrees here in Uptown Kingston. And we'll be right back after these messages.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What grows in the forest? Our imagination and our family bonds. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council. Look through your children's eyes, and you will discover the true magic of a forest.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name's Maggie. I'm from Copiague, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
Thank you for tuning in to KCR, Kingston Community Radio, WGHQ 920 on your AM dial, 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. Your Talk Radio call-in number is 331-9255, 331-9255. And a little bit about the weather for the next 3 days. Nothing but sunshine today, a high of 66, and a few passing clouds tonight. And Wednesday, partly cloudy skies with a high of 74, and that's Wednesday. And Wednesday night is clear skies with a few passing clouds with a high of 49. And partly cloudy skies on Thursday, high of 72, and a shower or two possible, 40% chance of showers on Thursday night. And that gets us to Thursday night. Let's get to the on-air studio with Nina Postyapak and Cameron Rylands. Welcome.
It's a dark, terrific Tuesday.
Oh, it is. It was so hard to get myself up and out this morning.
But the moon the last couple nights has been...
Oh, I know,
yeah, right? That's why it's getting so cold. It's
very
clear.
bright, yeah,
Yes,
nice and clear.
yes.
Yay.
First morning that it felt like fall, right? When
Oh,
you got in
yeah.
the car, that brisk air. Yeah, I have to say.
And,
Wakes you up fast.
Yeah.
It wakes you up fast.
Unfortunately, my car doesn't get warm enough to heat. I live too close.
Oh, yeah,
my
you're
heat
right.
I can't even get my defroster. I literally had to stick my head out the window.
So you could say.
Yeah, because it got so bad, and I put the windshield wipers on. I made it worse. And
I know.
It's like, yeah.
I know. Well, I'm really a big baby because I actually have Dwayne go out and start the
There you
car
go.
this morning.
But it's
before
cold
I got
in the winter. I do that. I must
Yeah.
admit, I do that in the winter, but I didn't think, today.
Well, this morning you would never think of it. Hey, it was like 70 degrees on
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Saturday,
nice.
right?
Next couple of days is supposed to be nice.
And last weekend was beautiful. So, yeah. But it's dark. A couple more weeks, and then we have daylight savings coming.
Third,
It
I
won't be
think.
bad.
First weekend of November, I believe.
Yes, yeah, which won't be
But
bad.
it's a. Did you watch the Giants game on Sunday?
It's very little.
Yeah,
Very
I
little.
saw it in person, and it was.
Oh,
ugly.
you saw it in
was
person.
ugly.
Yeah, very little. It's my son's birthday, and we're celebrating his birthday.
Oh,
but
really?
It was,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
But it was on the TV, and then people became quite discouraged, and yeah. It's a shame. You were there in person.
Yep.
That'd be painful.
Beautiful day. Had a great time. Good,
Yeah.
Good company, but the game didn't turn out so well.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I know.
But,
what are you going to do?
It is what it is.
Absolutely.
Still gotta wake up and go to work the next day.
That's right.
Well,
Doesn't
life
affect
goes
our
on.
lives, right?
Life goes on. You can't feel that bad.
They're still going to collect their $1 million salaries.
Exactly.
And,
The owner's
yeah.
gonna make money. The gambling houses make the money. Whatever.
Yep.
The vendors. People had fun, so that's all that counts.
Well, I had to say, if I had to pick an exciting game that I saw, it was the Dallas Patriots game.
Yeah. Too
Yeah,
bad.
you probably didn't see it because you're coming home, but
Listening to some of it on the sports radio. Yeah, but
yeah,
too bad.
it was. First, it was like,
Yeah,
yes, Dallas won, and then it was like, no, the Patriots won, and then it was
Yeah, that's
no,
really-
Dallas won.
Yeah, it's too bad Dallas won.
Yeah, I
But,
know.
yeah, I was actually home, but I was not home, but Capers rehearsal. Kiwanis Capers is this week.
That's right. So tell us
So,
about.
Yeah, so it's pretty. I had an I didn't read the script because I don't have any lines. I know where I appear in the play, so I didn't even print it
Sure,
out.
right.
So I hadn't really read it, but it's a takeoff. Steve Klein wrote it. It's funny. God Brother, it's called. It's as if Fredo, Vito Corleone left Fredo in charge of the family, and
So we see the other
yeah,
side.
there's like a miscommunication of what he means by family. Is it the mob family or is it a wife and kids family? It's it's funny. It's a
cute.
spoof. Steve Klein's a smart, witty guy. Some of the parody songs, like I'm in a dance scene behind Mo Gibbons. She's like
I just saw Mo walking this
she has
morning.
like a rapping Jersey take up. It pokes fun at New Jersey. It moshes together Sopranos, Godfather, Goodfellas, My Cousin Vinny. There's like it's like a spoof mob movie. if
Yeah,
you will,
yeah.
So it's fun. Good thing there's a lot of Italians in the Kiwanis Club. So
It helps. It helps.
Exactly. So when Steve Mazzei is up there talking like, "Hey, forget about it," it's
It works.
Italian guy, so, he can.
You can pull it off.
It's all in good fun. It's a great cause. So the shows are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 7:30 at Bailey. Tickets are $10. I mean, Friday or Thursday, seniors is cheaper. I want to say it's like $7.
Oh wow.
So you don't need to pre-buy a ticket. Well, you can if you want, if you know a Kiwanian. Or show up. There's always going to be room for you. So 7:30 shows curtains at 7:30. So don't get there at 7:30.
And the most important part is that all that money it's your largest fundraiser of the year, right? And all that money goes.
Literally. Other than paying, we have to rent some big theatrical curtains, like from huge backdrop, as big as a stage at Bailey. It's just sets. You can't just look at a velvet curtain. You have to have.
Right.
Something. In this case, it's like a street scene, sort of, because it's a mob. It takes place in like.
Who does your backstage? Your scene?
Oh, Rich Gillette, Greg Cherney, couple of guys.
That's work.
Pat Berardi does lights. And
Yeah, that's
stuff.
a lot of work.
Oh, it is.
That backstage work.
Yeah, and this one's pretty. And Steve insisted because most Italians do a lot of talking while they're eating. That they were actually eating real food.
Oh.
Restaurant scenes. I think Ann Papillion is making like 3 little lasagnas, so each night they can have a fresh lasagna. I mean, Steve put a lot of thought into it. Yeah. So,
well, and it makes it very realistic also.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And,
for sure.
So it's fun. Just starting to get a picture of the whole show last night, sitting through the rehearsal. So
Good.
Bailey School, for all our listeners.
J.
Where
Watson
is
Bailey
Bailey's?
Junior High is on Quarry Street in Kingston. And geographically, it's above Forsyth Park, so you can get to
Right.
it off of Hurley Avenue on Quarry Street, I guess. Hurley Avenue, right across from the Elks Lodge, and then accessible off Lucas via Merlina. So it's easy to get to. And on Lucas, it's roughly you pass the tennis courts, you take a right by the temple.
Yes.
It's easy to get to. Lots of parking, with some of it's on a hill, all along the street. There's parking and behind it, parking in front, but.
And the school's handicap accessible.
Oh, sure.
So
Yeah. The best way is to get to the cafeteria entrance, the loop, where the little
Right.
circle loop
Yep.
is, not like the front door that faces Edson, but yeah. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The God Brother, written and directed by Steve Klein. And Sue Copenhaver,
exciting.
she's a wonderful pianist.
Oh, I
She's
heard
been doing
that.
it for years.
Yes.
But she's good. Like she's good enough to like if she's people stumbling on stage, forgetting their lines,
She'll
can
just-
slow the tempo down or say, lean over, dummy, whatever.
Yeah, right.
But she's good enough where she can catch you if you start on off key, or, if your timing misses, she can skip
Catch
a
it
half
up
a verse.
or-
Yeah,
yeah.
she's really talented like that. But
That's
I don't
great.
know if she is available for weddings or bar mitzvahs, but Sue Copenhaver is a great pianist, and she has a lovely voice, too. So,
That's great.
yeah, not only is she our able and fun-loving head of the Ulster County Office for the Aging, she's a darn good musician. So.
And a devoted Kiwanian.
Yep.
Yeah, so you don't realize how many different, all the moving parts that go into putting
Oh,
capers
goodness,
on.
yeah.
And,
And,
and
it's
that's not
only-
even talking about the solicitation and the booklet and the advertising
Getting
and.
that put together.
Right.
Business people, oh, here's my business card. I want a half-page ad.
Right. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
those
how does
days,
that
yes.
happen, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know Jamie Anson did a lot of work for years doing that, like the
Jamie is always amazing with that.
graphic design and
Yeah.
the digital. Now it's all digital. They literally just it's on your computer. You can literally send the whole file to the printer. Frank Campagna, color pager, awesome. I'm sure they're super generous with their pricing and
Yeah, Frank is wonderful. Frank is
working with last minute Louis your Kiwanis, giving them stuff and they're getting it printed and put together for.
no, not easy at all.
Really hot off the press Thursday for
Well,
Showtime,
you come from a printing background.
Yeah.
so
Oh
you know.
gosh, how different it is.
Yes, I remember when we used to have to cut and paste everything
Yes.
onto
Take
sheets.
pictures of it.
Yeah,
And then manipulate the negatives.
Yes.
Burn plates. Yeah.
yeah. You come a long way, right,
Yeah,
Cameron?
and now
I know.
you can go directly from your computer to a printing press. Not even a digital imager, like a giant Xerox machine.
Right.
You can also go to printing presses, but depending on the quantities and everything. But yeah,
It's completely different now. Technology has really,
Scary.
has changed. It is scary. It is, absolutely. So I had a wonderful experience last Friday. We had the renewal of the treaty up at the Shokan Reservoir, at the new rail trail, the Woodstock entrance.
Okay.
At the Glenford Dyke. There was a dedication of the Shokan, the plaque for Native Americans, the Munsee tribe. There was the dedication of the plaque. Glenn Chrisberg was instrumental from Overlook Mountain in raising money for that. So we had the dedication of that plaque on the rail trail to Glenford Dyke. And then in addition, we did the renewal of the treaty and exchanging of gifts and the ceremony. And what a wonderful event. 2.5 hours, but it was amazing. And for those of you that have been on the rail trail, it's that section where you overlook the water. So everything, we were looking at the water the whole time. It was beautiful
yeah.
on Friday, if anybody recalls that. And it was just an extremely moving ceremony, from the dedication to, they do a smudging, they do a drumming, a welcome song, then they do, a farewell song, and then a couple in between with the drumming, and we exchanged gifts. I received a flag from their nation, beautiful flag, and turkey feathers. And Cameron, you'll appreciate this. The turkey feathers actually still have little meat on it.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so you knew it was realistic. It was the real thing.
Yeah. Wow. Now, originally, was that when the wampum belt was exchanged?
Yes, and we
Okay.
brought the replica of the wampum belt
yeah.
that's in our archives, as well as the treaty. We didn't bring the treaty, obviously, but digital reproductions of the treaty, the publication that we do. So we have the original treaty, and we also have, there were 17 renewals that were done of that treaty, and we have those 17 renewals in our archives
Really?
also.
After the term expired, they re-signed the
kept
lease
renewing.
or whatever you want to say?
Yeah, they kept renewing it, and then we
Wow.
started renewing it again back in 2009. So it says 12 years now that we've been doing it, and it's just amazing. And we exchanged gifts, and we renew the peace, and there's a lot that the still is happening with the indigenous people and their fight for recognition and
Land claims.
and land claims.
Valid land. I mean, that's where all the casinos in New York came from, basically. Exchange, settling land claim dispute.
Right. Absolutely.
Sorry, we can't give you Western New York, but you can build 6 casinos and we'll
Yes.
split the profits. Yeah, it's
Right. It's a
it's amazing, and it's very underreported the Shinnecock Indians in Long Island
Yeah.
literally have a valid land claim to like the whole eastern end of Long Island, Hamptons, including the Black Course, Shinnecock Hills Golf Course, where the U.S. Open is one of the greatest golf courses in the country.
Yep.
And they keep kicking this can down the road. But I've read an article some time ago that it's like legal scholars have been examining this for decades, and it's like valid. Like the wording of the original treaty and the way it was signed and recorded and everything. It's like, guys, we really we owe
really
these
could be
Indians
claimed,
$1
yes.
trillion worth of. How much can that real estate be worth? The Hamptons,
Oh my
East,
God.
West, just and the
God,
golf course.
yes.
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
trillions. I have no idea. Adding up Billy Joel's mansion and all those other mansions.
Yeah, and everything that's out there.
Incredible. Some of the,
The
most
wineries,
richest fishing
the-
grounds, and
yeah.
it's wow. It's the vineyards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's eventually that's going to have to be settled, addressed. You can
Yes.
only kick it literally. You can only kick the can down the road so far. So it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see what happens. So
It was nice too because speaking of that, when we initially started, it was just our office participating in it, and this year it's grown, and the county executive's office participated. Our county comptroller came, so we spoke to that, and the fact that that coming together, the growing of partnerships and collaboration. So hopefully it will continue. For
now, was
years
that
and
open
years
to the
come.
public,
Yeah.
or was it advertised, or just sort of just?
Well, it was on our Facebook page. It was. Let me say this. It was put together rather quickly. Normally we do it in the summer months, but unfortunately it just didn't happen, and with COVID, it just didn't happen. So it was decided because Indigenous Peoples Day, right, Columbus Day, we thought it would be the perfect time to do it. So within a week we put everything together,
Oh, okay,
which was, so it was on our Facebook page, the county clerk's Facebook page. It was on Overlook Mountain's Facebook. So we had a crowd of 70 people, though. I mean, including the participants,
Yeah,
and
but
yeah. So it was a really wonderful event. Next year we'll have it planned to. Because really, when I was on the radio last Tuesday, we didn't even know when it was going to happen at that point, and it was decided quite quickly that we do it on Friday. So anyway, great event.
Nice event.
Yes. So, yeah, and this weekend too uptown, another busy weekend uptown. We were busy at the Person House. We had Hank Yost and the reenactors, the First Militia, were at the house, and
That's right.
yeah. So it was very busy at the Person House on Saturday. But Kingston is very busy. It really is. I mean, all
Yeah,
all
year
summer,
round.
yeah, fall
yeah.
now, absolutely.
My a friend of mine, my sister, occasionally does some part-time catering with her. Just a couple, $100 extra bucks on a Saturday night.
Sure.
And my friend Amanda, my sister Amanda helped this other girl Liza down at the Hutton Brickyard for a wedding on Saturday.
Oh, I bet that was
Super nice.
amazing.
Yeah, it was like 100. Wasn't a lot of people, 150 people or so. But it started raining. Or was it Friday or Saturday? It rained. It started raining later in the day, Saturday. right?
Saturday.
Yes.
Saturday.
But it was all under the thing, and it is the first person I know that has been to a function down there, even though they worked it. But
Right.
I don't know. I think they do the cooking there.
The food.
But the food looked. They were servers and wait staff, and said the food was looked wonderful. The facility, being able to see, under this huge pavilion, looking at the river. It was a really lovely setting.
Oh, it is a beautiful setting, I have to say. Yeah, absolutely. I was there once for dinner, and the food was good, and it was really it was a nice summer night. So
I
it was
guess, the way the parking was, and like there's walkways, and I guess it's a really nice destination.
Was it out of town individuals that got married?
They didn't know Soul Air, so I'm going to assume.
See,
so.
yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah, that's great. So that means they stayed in the
they could have rented all the bungalows or
Yeah, yeah.
hotels or whatever. Who
Right.
knows? But
Yeah, so that's great.
Definitely.
Yeah, good. Yeah, no, that is beautiful down there. And that, let's see, last week I walked the rail trail down there. It's just nice, peaceful along the water there. And I know the mayor is coming on, and we've asked him on a couple occasions, but soon the work will start down there with the soccer field and all the
Yeah,
work that
yep.
they're doing down there.
Yeah, they already have started working down there.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, how about that time capsule they found?
Oh, isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's too bad it was had leaked.
For the Warts Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about that. What do you know? What did you discover about
Only what
that?
I read in the paper that,
Just that it's
when
there,
they-
yeah. Maggie mentioned it yesterday.
accidentally found it.
Yes.
They
A time
had
capsule,
had no
yes.
idea it was there, but unfortunately, even though
wasn't
if they
sealed
put it in a
properly.
copper box, it somehow leaked, and I guess
Copper's not that great.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. But still, I bet you that they're going to be able to discover quite a bit in there.
they're going to reinstall one.
Yes,
Yes.
good.
So which
Yes.
is kind of cool.
I think
Well, you
it's
know that's a
really,
Roebling
yeah.
bridge.
Yeah.
That's a Roebling
Yeah.
bridge.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know. I got schooled on Sunday going up the Rondout Creek on the Solaris.
Oh, you did that. That's
yes,
cool.
with Bill and about I would say 8 or 9 more couples on the Solaris.
couples. Oh, so it's-
Yeah, mostly.
Nice.
Mostly. And the actual designer of the boat was with us on the tour.
oh, that's cool.
That's great.
Went all the way up to the Eddyville Dam and saw the Eddyville, lock number 1,
Yeah, yeah.
which is right next, right to the right.
Oh, the fall, yeah.
Yeah, on the
That
213
stonework
side.
is. You can see the abandoned
Absolutely,
stonework
yeah.
there.
That great stonework for the lock, and quite a bit about the what we say the
Brick industry.
the
and the,
not the brick industry because it happens up the river.
Yeah.
But
the cement, I meant the kiln.
Yeah, the cement. Yeah, the cement kilns.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, because you can see them. They're right, on
Yeah,
Beale
they're
Street.
right
There's
along
right away
there.
on Beale
Yes,
Street,
you
yeah.
can absolutely, and in the winter even better.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool.
But it was a great tour.
and that boat is beautiful.
It's a
the
stunning
lines
boat.
of it.
Yeah,
the
Solar
woodwork.
Sal is the designer company, and they're making more and more and more.
Yeah, good. That's
Yeah.
a cool idea. Like if you live on a lake.
Yeah, it's not.
and
It's not unique. That's it's a physicist, David. I forget his last name right now. I could guess it, but
Yeah.
his first name is definitely David.
yeah, there you go.
And quite a brilliant guy. He's a physicist, and knows about wavelength and things like that for boats.
Yeah,
and all that.
that's cool.
And that is a completely it's just completely unnecessary to use any charging for that boat.
Really? It
yes.
generates that much electricity?
Absolutely.
Huh.
And a boat is an advantage over trying to do the same thing with planes or cars because you have all of that square footage on the roof.
Yeah.
To attract the
Yeah,
sun. And
yeah, yeah.
whether it's overcast, as long as it's day, it's generating electricity.
Wow, that's cool. And I'm sure there's a battery bank, so the motor.
That's
probably
the ballast.
Oh, better.
That's the ballast for the boat. That's
Yep.
what keeps it
Keeps it
really
upright.
stable.
Yeah.
They did a 1,000-mile trip from Washington State to western Alaska, a 1,000-mile trip this summer on a boat similar, 27. It's a little smaller, on open ocean.
Huh.
As well as during like through a corridor,
Channels
like
and stuff, yeah.
through a corridor similar to our
Intercoastal,
intercoastal,
yeah.
and had a ball.
Wow.
They had a ball and never ran out of electricity. Never plugged in anywhere.
Wow, that's really cool.
That is.
1,000 miles.
Yeah. Huh. That's being on the water has the advantage too of being in the open. You get a lot of, like your house can be shaded by trees.
Right.
Out in the open, there's more sun. That's cool. That's really neat.
Yeah.
And gliding silently must be a pretty cool sensation.
Yeah.
I mean, even a quiet boat, you feel the rumble.
Yeah.
You get a huff of gas every
I
once in a while.
don't know exactly what's more pleasant to hear. The motor of a normal gas boat or Bill Merchant.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm about to listen to this.
I think it's much more pleasant to listen to Bill Merchant.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he had no competition when it came to it's absolutely silent. The motor of the boat is actually about 3 feet into the water, so you don't hear it at all.
Yeah, and it's electric, so
It's electric. Yeah, the
it's
motor.
whirring. It's not.
The motor is about this big.
Oh yeah,
About,
probably like a washing
about
machine.
16 feet and 16 inches by about
Yeah, it's
9.
like probably like a washing machine motor. Yeah, it doesn't need to be that. To spin a prop in water is not too.
Yeah, and brushless.
Yeah.
Brushless motor, just in case you know what that
Less,
means.
no sparks, no. Yeah, that's cool.
That's great. So
well,
we have
now I
the
wanna go-
now.
now I wanna
now
go
you want
on
to go on the.
even
Yeah, I
more.
know,
Yeah,
I
I
know, I know.
So sad. I heard on the radio driving home yesterday, but Colin Powell
I
passed.
know.
Yeah, what a groundbreaking, brilliant guy. I
iconic.
thought he was a smart guy. I like that guy.
I do too.
But sadly, had lowered immuno resistance. He's been fighting cancer
Right.
and
Yeah, Parkinson's too, I think.
COVID complications.
Yes.
But 84 years. What is probably 3/4 of that was spent in public service
Yes.
between his military career and then his, I guess, political career.
Right.
Government career.
Yeah.
I don't think he was really a politician. He was more of a government worker.
Right,
He
right.
never ran for anything, did he? I mean, he was a Secretary of State, Chief of Staff, whatever. Those were all.
No, we never ran for.
Yeah, but and that's a servant,
And
public servant.
Yeah, and I don't
Well
think.
respected, globally well respected. So
Yeah, absolutely.
it is a loss to our, God, prayers to his family, and
Yes. Yes.
be an inspiration to our future statesmen and women out there to
Right.
selflessly serve our country. So
Yes. Yes, and he did it on many different levels.
Yep,
So,
yep.
military to statesmen. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we have, speaking of elected officials, we have the mayor coming
Yes.
on at 7:30.
He's been a busy boy. Looking at
Yes.
that mayor, boy, he's
Yes.
really tightened his belt.
Yes.
Property, no increases, spending more money. It's
Yeah.
good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And then at 8 o'clock, we have Bill Forte who's coming on, and we'll hear about what's going on with the veterans. And then at 8:30, we have Christine Hine, People's Place. It goes so fast when.
Seems like a couple weeks
yes,
ago.
Yes, that they were
The mayor
on.
was, he sat right there, oh my God, it's been a
Yes.
month. It's
Yeah, same thing with
crazy.
Bill and Christine. I know.
Very.
It goes so fast. It really does. So we're looking forward. We have a full show
Right,
today,
well, we're
which is
well,
nice.
we're probably closer to Christmas than 4th of July, so,
Yeah, right. Well, speaking of Christmas, right? The Happy Christmas Fund.
Yes, that's kicking
coming
off.
up very shortly.
Early November,
Fourth?
it's kickoff.
I think
November
it's the
4th.
November 4th,
Yes,
yes.
November
yes,
4th.
Thursday the 4th.
All
And,
day. All
uh,
day. We will be broadcasting all day
Yes.
from the Boyce Dairy Milk House.
Excellent.
And a reminder that early voting starts on Friday.
Oh, I got a nice little thing in the mail. I don't know who sent it. I think a candidate sent it, but it's a nice little matrix grid, shows all the hours and everything.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Polling places.
Yeah, I'm definitely voting early. So
Yeah, no.
But that was
yes,
that was very nice for that candidate to do that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I got the same mailing,
yeah, good.
and
yeah.
to
I don't know
see
if-
the chart, it was really nice.
Well, it must be either a county legislator because we're in a different ward, I'm sure.
Yes,
what
we
ward are you
are.
in?
3.
Oh yeah, I'm 5.
Okay.
What ward are
Probably
you
was the legislature. 6.
in? 6. Okay, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get that too? Do you know? It was a little
I
half.
didn't.
It was like a half of a sheet of.
That must have been something available to the legislators as a resource.
Yeah, yeah. It was nice. It was good. I'd sit on my coffee table. I'm gonna pick a date and go. So.
Yeah, right. No, absolutely, because it gets a little confusing. The dates, the times,
Yeah.
polling places. Yeah,
Do it
but
on the way
for
home from
Kingston
work.
Midtown
Yeah,
Center.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, right. Right on your way home from work, which is great. Yeah. So Election Day is 2 weeks from today.
Yeah. Wow.
Isn't that
November.
crazy?
Wow.
2 weeks from today will be Election Day.
A lot of referendums.
Yes.
We have to research.
Yes.
Everybody needs to do their due diligence, as we say,
Yeah, we were talking about both last week.
and
different
and
referendums.
see what those.
Yes. Yeah, I
referendums
really
are.
encourage. I agree with you, Dan, 100%. For people to go on the Board of Election, Ulster County Board of Elections, you can Google it, their website, and read what those propositions are about, because they really are very impactful to the future of our voting, to our community. So I really encourage people to read what they're voting for, and not to forget. Don't forget to flip over that ballot to the back. So after you fill out for your elected officials, your candidates, flip it over and answer those propositions. And there's some that are specific to a town, like the town of Ulster, town of Marlborough, comes to my mind immediately. So make sure you look at all of those propositions.
And one of them concerned voting or something, didn't it? Or-
Yeah, two. One is that you don't have to be registered to vote within 10 days of election. They're taking that away. Yep. The other thing is the absentee ballot, that you no longer had to have an excuse to get an absentee ballot. And I think the third one really changes things like the number of senators. It limits the number, or freezes the number of senators, and certain things that it actually affects the New York State Constitution. So, yeah, there's quite a bit in there.
There's going to be some redistricting, too, in New York.
Yes.
With
The census, right?
because not everyone cooperated with the census taker. It said New York lost more people than it probably really did. So we're losing, government representation.
Yes, yes. So, yeah,
Oh,
very.
yeah, another Medicare. It's funny. Last week, I texted Nina after the show. I got home from work last week. And our last guest was
From Office of the Aging.
Sue Copenhagen.
Can't think of his
a gentleman, Robert.
Yes, Robert.
Sitting right there talking about the Medicare Advantage plan. And I opened
Bob
my paper.
Macy. Bob Macy.
Yeah, and a Medicare Advantage advertisement popped out. And I was like,
Oh, it's just an advertisement. You're not getting hit up yet already.
Yeah, no. Okay.
yeah, part of the Freeman.
At 64, you're going to get hit up a lot.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I get bombarded with AARP stuff already.
I know.
There you
I
go.
know.
Well, it's worth joining.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Extraordinary.
Oh, you can get like a rent-a-car discount. One time pays for your annual membership, whatever,
Yeah,
or
no,
hotel discounts they offer and everything. So
AARP really does.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Dan, I think we should turn it over to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Gosh,
We went a minute over.
all right.
Yeah, we were chatting. Okay, absolutely. And you're with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. It's at the bottom of the hour right now, Tuesday, December 19th, 7:31 a.m., and 41 degrees outside. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, I'm your host, Smokey Cole Bear, filling in for Smokey because after 75 years of...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Turns out there's much more to say. Nearly 90% of wildfires are caused by us humans being careless, dumping our used barbecue coals willy-nilly. Guess the song was wrong. We did start the fire. That's why I respect Mother Nature and her trees, whether coniferous or new car scented. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love this song! I love nachos.
Loving everything? You might be buzzed.
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Shirley Stabe from Kingston, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
And we're back, and this portion of Kingston Community Radio is being brought to you by Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. Many locations throughout the Hudson Valley. 1099 Morton Boulevard in Kingston is their main office. And weather and forecast for Kingston and the surrounding areas for the next few days. This is going to be a very nice sunny day today, and it's a high of 66. Few passing clouds tonight with a low of 51. Wednesday, partly cloudy skies with a high of 74. And Wednesday night, a few passing clouds, clear skies, and a low of 49. And Thursday, partly cloudy skies with a high of 72. So temperatures are keeping it right in the lower 70s throughout Thursday. And then a shower or two possible, a 40% chance of a shower on Thursday night, and a low of 52 on Thursday night. Let's get back to the on-air studio with Nina Postapak, Cameron Rylance, and Mayor Steve Noble. Welcome.
Steve, good morning.
you, Dan.
We are back. Terrific Tuesday.
Yes.
Yes.
We have the mayor here in the
Thank you for
studio
joining
with us.
And,
My pleasure.
We're just talking off air about, I guess, the biggest news locally is our current budget that you've...
We did last night or yesterday afternoon. We were able to unleash the 2022 budget, which really a lot of work every year. I want to just thank our comptroller, John Toohey, and his team. They really work magic with the numbers. Every year it's always a challenge to make sure that we're able to meet all of the needs that our residents have. ever-growing needs. But I think that this year's budget is a really good reflection of what our community is looking for. They want more services. They want better-looking parks. They want more responsive DPW services. They want to be able to make sure that we're investing in sewer and infrastructure and paving. And so I think that this budget's going to allow us to do all of that and, again, not raise taxes. I think for the seventh year in a row, I think we've been able to keep the tax levy.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And, the biggest thing, and we were just talking, you are dipping into the fund balance a little bit, but I guess it's a good thing because the fund balance is too big. There's a threshold that it's crossed that shouldn't be, so we need to spend the money. So
yeah, I think that's one of the things that, when we saw the pandemic on the, and the impacts that it could have on our city budget, we dramatically cut costs in 2020 and 2021. The budget that we're working under now, it was really severely restricted because at this point last summer we had no idea what it was going to look like. And so we all did what we thought was the most reasonable thing to do. We cut our budget 10-15%. And now on the flip side, we actually did relatively well in 2020 and 2021. We didn't have a lot of revenue losses. Sales tax was actually stronger than we expected in the end. And so a lot of that money then went back into the fund balance. And so I think right now it sits over 21%. Which is above our policy that the Common Council has. It's supposed to sit somewhere between that 13 and 20% level. And so we thought investing, some of the fund balance back into the city budget to be able to provide some more services for our residents and to be able to help support our, recruitment and retention efforts to be able to.
And a lot of that's probably backfilling jobs. Like the officer, this KPD is still down. Even with these 3 hires, we're still down, right? And I'm sure the DPW is down.
Yeah. I think we've got 5 vacancies in DPW, and we've got, about 8 in the police department that we hopefully plan to fill this week. We have a police commission meeting tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Between this week and next week, we are doing hires for 9 employees. Between that'll be all vacated by next January, or by January, which is a lot. So a lot of retirements, a lot of people.
Some institutional knowledge there, too. That's big.
Yeah.
And tax raises for CSEA, frontline workers, if you will. So, which is wonderful news.
Yeah,
still extremely modest. Looking at the gross salaries that you're talking, they're still. Yeah. This isn't Fat Cat $90,000.
No, they're not.
Nice,
bringing people that were making
guys driving the trucks and mowing lawns. Women too. This is.
To be able to bring people that were making $36,000 a year and bring them to 44, that just seems that's a reasonable salary, and even that is still
it's not
tough
huge.
to be able
it's only a few $100s a month, and that's that's enough to loosen your belt a little bit. Not stress over, are we on the 4th week of the month, are we worrying about our, food security? So that's.
Yeah. And I think that we just have to be a good role model as, city government to be able to just make sure that folks are being paid a living wage, because most of the members of CSEA, live here in the city of Kingston.
Yes.
And, out of all of our, employees, those are the most likely to live within the city. We have requirements for our CSEA employees that they live within 10 miles, but most of them live even closer. Mm-hmm. Police and fire, they can live in any of the counties surrounding Ulster County, and so we have people that live very far away, but most of our CSEA workers are closer. And so by, raising their salaries, or at least proposing to raise their salaries, it means that they're going to be able to also invest more in their community, in their home, in their social situation, and we think that's going to really help a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And plus, they worked very hard during the pandemic. Most of those employees sometimes putting themselves in harm's way to ensure that the government still ran. I mean, you still had to plow the streets. You still had to pick up the trash. All those things continued throughout the pandemic, and they did it quietly, and they deserve what this budget has presented. So I think it's a good thing, that's for sure. And now let's talk about the process a little bit. Yep. So you came out with your budget, and now this goes before the Common Council.
It does. October 28th, there's a public hearing. So that's the first step of discussing the budget. The Common Council has to hold a public hearing. So that'll be done then. And then
through the open in the chambers.
It'll be remote, virtual. And then after that, there'll be a series of meetings with the Finance Committee. And so for all of those members of the Finance Committee, this is a very busy time. They have meetings on a weekly basis, sometimes more than one meeting a week, to be able to help. Rennie Scott Childress, from Alderman from Ward 3, also the majority leader. And so that is a process where our department heads then go to the Finance Committee. They then meet with them directly. They talk about their proposed budget. They go over any questions that the Finance Committee may have, and that happens for each and every department of city
that can
government.
be a line-by-line
Yes, it can be.
It's
why did your electric prices go up here or there? And it's a very, but it's a good process, because I think that for folks from the public that are really interested in the really inner workings of the budget, you can learn a lot more than just the headlines in the paper by watching those meetings and understanding, why some costs are rising, why some costs are lowering, where this additional revenue is coming from or not coming from. So they're really, I think, good discussions to be had.
And it's an important process, too, because your aldermen and women are not involved in the daily operations of the city, just like in the county, and the legislature is not involved in the daily operations. So therefore, but they're making the decision on the budget. So for them to make an intelligent, educated decision on what gets funded and doesn't get funded, they need to do that intense scrutiny of each department's budget. And who better but the department head to explain? For you, when you look at the budget, you're living it every single day. So you know the need, but
$46 million on the line. That's not chump change.
But then your common council makes the final decision whether that budget passes. So it's very important that they understand exactly why the decisions were made throughout the year to present a budget, and to understand how each of those departments run. So that exercise is probably the most crucial part of the budget process. And like you said, it's also very transparent, because the public can, if they so choose, can also be involved in it and understand, or if you're interested in a particular department.
Yep.
No, there's not a tremendous amount of discretionary room in the budget. I mean, isn't I've heard 80% is fixed. Labor cost, insurance, debt service, utilities for the buildings. I mean, how much wiggle room is there?
There's about 70% is personnel related. And so it really, but it does there are, as you've seen in this budget, we're proposing to add 23 full-time employees in a variety of different departments. And these are requests that have come from department heads that, hey, we need more staffing in this area, this area, this area. And so that's really the discretion that the Common Council has, is that do they want to invest resources in the areas that, both either I or the department heads feel need to be invested. They could choose to invest them in other places too. And so I think that that's part of the process. And I do think that, one of the things that's
offhand, one of our treasures of Kingston is our open space between Dietz, Rotary, Hutton, Lauren, Forsyth. Now the landscaping on the new Rotary is I think should be kept. How many Parks and Recs and DPW people are?
Yeah, so
we need folks on the street weed whacking and stuff. So
and so in Parks and Recreation, there are 3 in the labor maintenance department that were added. Out of the 4 new positions, 1 is a project manager to be able to help move some projects along for the department. And then in DPW, there's 5, laborers, and a big part of the DPW new 5 is actually a new division. We've had a buildings and grounds division for a while. They're the ones that have helped take care of parking lots and medians, and it's been staffed by 2 part-timers. And they have tried their best, and they're also responsible for taking care of all of the vacant and abandoned buildings in the city.
Holy cow!
And so it's not, and that's why.
A dozen full-time people,
and so
legitimately.
And so this year, we're taking the 2 part-timers and we're turning that into 3 full-time positions, as well as providing them the equipment and the vehicles and the tools that they need to really be able to get the job done. And so we're going to be able to see, areas like Broadway, the medians, the parking lots, the buildings, everything is going to see a much better, level of care than we've seen in the past, where we've really just been piecemealing it together, because again, those 2 part-timers they've tried their best, but it's just not possible.
Impossible. Yeah. I mean, they couldn't even pick up the garbage in just the parking lots in 2 part-time things. Yeah. So good. That's great. I mean, because it's the opposite of broken windows. Tidy streets and build civic pride, and it's part of the growing thing that we got.
And we also can't give people a hard time about how their property looks if our property down the street doesn't look good either,
exactly.
right?
If there's
So
plastic bags in the bushes on the median, you know, so.
And you work hard. You've done a lot of capital improvements throughout the city and the infrastructure, and now you want to maintain it, right? Millions of dollars go into the city, but if you don't maintain it, you're right back where you started. So it's very
Exactly.
important. Yeah, that's for sure.
A couple other little things I'd like to touch on. Good news about the bridge, the Wirt Street Bridge.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
yeah,
Hopefully no setbacks.
No, it's been really, they started construction. One of the more interesting things that they mentioned when we were at the press conference, I think it was reported in the paper, but they actually found.
Yes, we talked about
Yeah, it's
isn't
too
that-
bad. It was.
Yeah, 100 years ago, that
Whoosh.
box was placed, behind the sign. And I did tell the state that if, when they're done with their process, that I'm sure the Friends of Historic Kingston or the Ulster County Clerk's Office would be happy to, take that box as part of, the copper box as the plaque and, on the front. And while the contents were destroyed, the box was in relatively good condition. And so I'm sure someone would like that,
Sure.
as
That's
part
a
of our
shame
archive.
that
absolutely.
that it was destroyed.
And hopefully
but-
we place something in there for the next century's renovation.
I think so too. Time capsules are a really unique opportunity.
Don't make it be copper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, they
Yeah.
did not seal it correctly.
Yeah.
But
So, any updates on the Kingston Point work down there? For this
yes,
fall?
so if folks haven't had a chance to get down to Kingston Point, the brand new parking lot is at 99.9% being done. It may
cool.
even be open at this point.
Wow. Waiting for the paint to dry.
Yes,
Strike.
and the soccer field, the grass is growing, and so we won't be able to play on it this year because we want the grass to be able to actually grow.
Yeah, it's
and
perfect
so-
time of year to grow grass right
Yes,
now.
and so it's been doing really well, and
That's
so
awesome.
we're excited about that project. And it's just it's coming at a great time because there's been so much water this year, and so that parking lot that used to be a parking lot that is literally now a wetland, we're actually going to have to close it off because we've had people parking in the area where it can get
Tide
wet,
comes in
and
and,
we've had some issues, and
Yeah.
so we're excited to be able to get this new parking lot open for all of the users of the complex down there. So it'll be good for for everybody in the neighborhood too. So
Fantastic work on Block Park.
yes, Block Park is
It's all newly paved.
Yes, newly paved.
It's beautiful.
And
right along the Abeale Street corridor there.
Yep. And we're really excited that project will be finished this week. They just did the pavement Monday, yesterday, and last Friday, and it really has come out really, really well. And for all of the users down there, that parking lot has been not well cared for over the years, and we put in new guide rail to be able to make sure that it's clear the entrances and exits.
Control
because
the flow a little bit,
the
yeah.
traffic on Abeale Street can be pretty quick, and so we really want people to be safer.
Softball nights, you can get a
Yes.
lot of people in and out of
And-
there, boy.
So we're excited about that, but thank you for mentioning that project. That was the Parks and Recreation team have been hard at work, and that was actually paid through our community development block grant funds.
Oh,
and
great.
so
Oh,
that was a nice.
Extremely well maintained ballpark too.
Yes, our staff do a great job.
Yeah, a lot of the people in the city play there. So
Yes.
everybody
Yes.
play. I mean, that's a huge.
Yeah, I don't think
softball-
that
softball
Block
in Kingston
Park
is
hasn't
big,
touched
yeah.
everybody's life at one
Absolutely.
point or the other.
Yeah, whether flag football as little
Right.
kids or adult softball leagues.
Yeah, we were able to even repave the road down to the pavilion and the parking lot by the pavilion. So we think that will also make it easier for folks that may want to rent the pavilion or have a picnic
Oh,
or
yeah,
barbecue.
that's a
and
great- yes.
because it was in pretty rough shape. So this will help.
Quite overgrown too.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've cleaned it up, widened the road, and it looks nice.
And I think personally, great news about the Fair Street extension deed transfer, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the project is moving forward. I think, this was one of the, next steps on the Kingstonian redevelopment
Yeah,
process is to be
amen.
able to allow the public park to be built and to be able to get the pedestrians across Schwank Drive. So we're excited to, take that step. It went before the Finance Committee a couple weeks ago, unanimously moved out of there, and so now we'll go to the full council in a couple of weeks. So that's just one more step along the way.
Yes.
And there have been
There's a lot of steps.
been a lot of steps, but
A lot of
You
steps.
don't want a Dean Gitter situation here.
No, as-
20 years to start development. So
so I think as long as we keep moving forward, and I think that it's the incremental changes. It did allow, thankfully, for a lot of public comment and feedback, and the design has gotten better and better, along the entire process. So I think that that's a benefit of these things taking a little bit longer than some people may want, is that we usually end up with better projects. And I think that that's good. And one thing I'll mention, kind of coming up next week on the 25th and 26th, we're having our first public sessions about what we want to do with the $17 million.
Oh, yes.
And so those are going to be virtual, so you can.
Now, is that exclusive of the work being done at Dietz?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so this is an additional $17 million that we as a community need to decide how we want to spend.
Well, how many people are in the city of Kingston?
Yeah.
Divide that 26,000 by 17 million, and I'll take you can round up. It's okay.
So there are some rules about how that can.
Come on, Mr. Mayor.
The federal government came out with
elected forever if you did that.
150 pages of what it can and can't be spent on. There can be some direct payments to frontline workers as a part of a possible process, but generally just handing out cash to residents isn't necessarily. I didn't see on the list of, but I think that there are ways that this money will be able to help
benefit everyone. Absolutely,
because it can be spent on things like sewer and water infrastructure. It can be spent on improvements to make our buildings safer, better ventilation systems. Again, kind of thinking if we're ever going to have one of these pandemics again, how can we be better prepared? And really being able to just make sure that if there are businesses and organizations that were hard hit by the pandemic that really didn't get the pandemic relief because of so many other reasons and complications and bureaucracies, there's opportunities for us to do that. It can help support business organizations actually planning events and bringing people and tourism and new jobs to Kingston. And so it's a pretty open canvas. And so we really encourage folks that even if you can't attend either of the virtual sessions, we'll have a survey. You'll be able to give us your thoughts, send us your proposals on where you think the money.
Is there a mechanism for email comments or suggestions?
And so if you go to our Engage Kingston website, it's engagekingston.com. All of the information's on there. Folks can submit their ideas, concepts, comments. It doesn't... and then what we're doing is we hired a consulting firm who's going to then match up the ideas to see whether they do actually qualify based on all of the federal rules. They will help, do cost estimates. So if you're like, hey, I want to be able to have, wayfinding signage in Kingston to be able to help people better get to our businesses, they'll be able to help identify, one, does that, meet the requirements of the federal money? How much would that cost? And then be able to plan that. And we have until next year to be able to plan for this first $8 million that we received, and then by the end of the following year we have to dole out the other $8 million. So it's a relatively quick turnaround time, and we have to spend every penny by 2026.
Do you know if any of that can be used? There's proposals for security systems, for the police camera systems and stuff. LED lighting upgrades, are those types of things? Can we replace all the street lights in Kingston with LEDs and that,
Thankfully, we did that already.
So that's done. Okay, whatever.
All done. We just did that. All done. But yes, so there is actually one category is revenue loss, and so we can actually calculate the amount of revenue the city did lose because of the pandemic. That number could then be spent on anything that is an allowable municipal expense. And so that's really where we can get really creative. So if that number ends up being a couple of $1 million, what would we like to do? And so currently, like, park improvements are generally not an allowable expense. So some of that $2 million could go into park improvements. Hiring police officers or paying for cameras, generally not an allowable expense out of the COVID money, but it can be spent out of the revenue loss money, which is, again, part of that $17 million. So it's a little weird how they have it done, but so that's why we're saying to people, just give us your ideas, whatever they are. We'll figure out, how to make it work. Yeah.
On air? Good morning, Carl. You're on the air.
Good morning, Cam. Good morning, Nina. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Morning.
Morning.
My question is, why did they come up with that design on Broadway and Greenkill Avenue, where so far since it's been implemented, you have lost 3 people's lives due to turning vehicles instead? Because when you try to make a right-hand turn with that bike lane, and you got parked cars there, the turning vehicles really can't see them. They don't know that they're there. And you're also taking out 2 lanes of traffic on your busiest thoroughfare.
Yeah, so, there's a couple of projects that you mentioned. It is unfortunate that we have had some bicycle crashes that have led to fatalities here in Kingston over the last 2 years. And, I think that there is a lot of work that we need to do to educate both drivers and cyclists on how to better and more safely use our roadways. We're going to be working on that. We have a campaign that we're going to be launching to help educate people to make sure that they're driving, walking, and biking safely. But the infrastructure that we're putting in, including the new redesign on Broadway, I don't know if you have driven Broadway recently, but
yes, I have.
It is much more efficient now with one lane of traffic in each direction than it ever was because there are now turn lanes for drivers to be able to get out of the way of coming traffic. And so that has really helped alleviate a lot of the backups that we used to see. For many years, traffic would be backed up almost all the way to City Hall, at 3 o'clock. And now
5 light cycles.
Yep, and now all of the lights are going to be timed together, and we're really going to be able to make sure that we get people in and out of Kingston safely. I do think Greenkill Avenue, that was a project that was designed and implemented by the state. There are some issues that they are still trying to figure out. I know the Common Council is working to potentially, they considered replacing the light at Greenkill with stop signs and Wilbur. I don't know where they are in that process, but I do think that is...
They are stop signs right now with flags on them.
Yes, so they just went in, so I know that they had approved that, so that's good. Yeah, and so that we think is going to really dramatically help, that intersection where that cyclist was killed. And so hopefully, again, that was we have to...
Sad tragedy.
Yep.
However, the vehicles travel law was broken. The person didn't obey posted stop signs, and a horrible accident occurred. Likewise, with the one at the top of Broadway, the cyclist was going the wrong way at a one-way street, way too fast, and it's sad that a fatality occurred. But in my humble opinion, nothing to do with the mayor. The victims were in the wrong, so that's only my opinion.
The one on Greenkill during the wintertime, that wasn't plowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that
so...
was not plowed, or there was always snow in that lane and stuff at the different times that I would use it and stuff. And with the bike lane, that's, 800 yards off of Main Street, that bike trail, why would they want to use that instead of riding with a bunch of traffic on Broadway?
Yeah, I think we're going to see more. There already are a lot of people that cycle on Broadway, and I think that we're going to see people continue to do that. And I think the other benefit of the cycling on Broadway is really for the businesses. There are studies that indicate people who walk, ride their bike are much more likely to stop and spend money in a local business than folks who are driving by in their cars. And so
there is a lot of development on Broadway that's just sort of snuck in, lunch places and cafes. There's a couple of clothing stores. Broadway is really changing, and kind of sneakily over the last year and a half
Quietly,
because of the construction and it's.
And I think we're going to see
that's the next.
Yep.
Growth area, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
Downtown's great, uptown's great, midtown's.
And I think the $8 million we invested in the streetscape, the new sidewalks, the plantings, and all of the new safety infrastructure, because we have to remember that the reason we did the work on Broadway is that we've had multiple pedestrian fatalities, we've had hit and runs, we have more crashes. We had more crashes on Broadway than anywhere else in the city on such a short stretch of roadway. It was really dangerous. And so I think now, we're going to not only help with the safety issues, we're going to really be able to help our businesses who are now going to have a beautiful streetscape right in front of them, and also less traffic and less people just kind of wanting to get out of town. Instead, they're going to now be able to stop, park, and our next project that we're going to be doing in 2022 is we're going to be repaving and redoing the Sea Deli parking lot there on Broadway, as well as the Cornell Street parking lot. Those are both going to be completely redone, as well as Prince Street parking lot. And
Cornell Street, the one behind Tony's and Little
Italy.
Yes.
Okay, yep. So it's going to be completely redone and beautified and repaved, and I think going to really make a huge difference in the neighborhood. And again, I think that that's just going to help the neighborhood.
Now, there's an electric charging station or two
There
on
is.
that lot, isn't
Yes.
there? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah,
The
it's
Cornell
Yeah,
parking lot,
yeah, yeah.
yes.
pretty
Okay,
heavily
well,
utilized.
thank you for your
Yeah,
answers.
no, thank
Oh,
you.
George, I'm
Yes,
sorry,
yeah.
George. I forgot you were on the
Out and
phone.
everything
You're
else.
great. You're such a good guest. We forgot
Nina,
about
did
you.
you get that email I sent you last week?
Nina,
Did I get the email you sent me last week, George?
Yeah, about that scam.
Yeah, I did. If we posted
Okay.
it on Facebook, we posted it on our website. Yeah, so we did get the word out that that was a scam, and I did get it. Thank you so much. And yeah, so if you go to our website or if you go to our Facebook page, it notifies everybody in regard to it. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention.
Okay, thank you, people.
Cool.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
George, thank you so much.
You too.
So we chewed through a half hour pretty quick. Any other quick announcements that you have, or?
Yeah, I'll be joining the Capers
Yeah.
cast this week. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday,
7:30.
$10 tickets. It's
Jay
priceless.
Watson Bailey, you can't beat it.
Priceless,
Yeah,
you're
it's
right.
priceless.
Cameo
Priceless.
by our mayor. So yeah, we talked about that in the first half hour.
Yeah.
So great, Steve. Thank you so much, and support the Capers. Come see our mayor. All right,
Thank you.
take it away, Dan.
Thank you, Mayor Steve Noble, and thank you, Nina Poshapak and Cameron Rylance. Again, thank you for coming in once a month and informing us with everything that is Kingston. You are with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, WGHQ, AM 920, 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. Tuesday, October 19th, a terrific Tuesday. 41 degrees here in Uptown Kingston. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, 1099 Morton Boulevard in Kingston, their main office. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, this is Tony Marmo from Norman Staffing, and we've been bringing together employers and job seekers since 1980. If you're an employer and have job vacancies, let Norman Staffing help fill them with permanent or temporary workers. We screen, interview, and recommend the best candidates for your company. We make the employment process easier and faster for you. Please call Norman Staffing for your employment needs at 338-9111, 338-9111, or normanstaffing.com.
A lot of talk about the COVID-19 vaccines, and everyone has an opinion. So I went to somebody I already trusted, my doctor. Talk to your doctor or healthcare provider and make the decision that's right for you. Go to getvaccineanswers.org for the latest information. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
How do airplanes fly? What's in this box? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Learn how to store your gun securely and make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Scott Harrington from Hurley, and I support Kingston Community Radio because the people need a place to have their voice heard, and it's lost in corporate radio, so please keep listening and supporting our station.
And we're back, and thank you for being with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, on a terrific Tuesday. And this upcoming portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Robert Baum Commercial Realty, located at 79 St. James Street, Kingston, New York. Visit rgbaum.com for more information. Robert Baum Commercial Realty. And a little bit about our weather and forecast for the next few days in the Kingston area. Plentiful sunshine today. Continuous sunshine, a high of 66. And a few passing clouds tonight with a low of 51. Wednesday, partly cloudy skies with a high of 74. And we have a Wednesday night with clear skies. A few passing clouds and a low of 49. Thursday, partly cloudy skies with a high of 72. And Thursday night, shower or two possible with partly cloudy skies later at night, a low of 52. Now let's get back to the on-air studio with Nina Poshapak, Cameron Rylance, and Bill Forte.
Thank you, Dan. And we're back in the studio. And before we go to our next guest, you know what time it is. It's birthday time. So let's see. We have one birthday here. So we'll wish a very happy birthday to Carol Decker from your friends at the Hurley Pearlers. And guess, Dan, who was the winner of the cow pie?
100% chance.
Carol Decker. So, Carol, you are the lucky winner to go to Boyce Dairy Milk House, 62 O'Neill Street, and pick up that famous cow pie so you can enjoy it for your birthday today. And unfortunately, I don't have Cameron here to ring the bell, but thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan. And if you could tell people, Dan, how they can get their birthdays on the radio so we can have more next week.
Definitely. KCR921 at gmail.com, or mail them to Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York, 12402. And we've got them. Okay. So make sure you get them to us.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much. And we have Bill Forte here in the studio with us. He's the chairman of the Veterans VFW Kingston.
Kingston Veterans Association.
Kingston Veterans Association, okay. So welcome, Bill. It's always nice to have you every month. And he has his pad there, so there's a lot going on, right, with Veterans Day coming up. And
We have a few things going on.
Yeah. So maybe we could, I'll hand it over to you, and you can tell us a little bit about what's happening.
First off, the Ulster County Chapter 156 of the Disabled American Veterans will be having a turkey giveaway. It's actually turkey breasts, the full frozen breasts. They have a limited number of them, so it'll be first come, first serve. It'll be on Sunday, November 21st at the VFW on the bypass in Kingston at 708 East Chester Street, starting at noon until 3 p.m. or whenever they've given them all out. It'll be a drive-through. As you look at the VFW, you drive in on the right side, around the back, and there'll be a line there, and they'll hand you out the turkeys, and you have to show a proper ID, either a military ID, a VA card, something like that.
And do you have an idea of how many you'll have, Bill? You
They're
don't?
not sure at this time.
Okay.
But the number will be limited. It'll be first come, first served. I know in the past they've had at least 100.
Oh, okay, that's great. Okay, yeah, that's quite a few.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, right?
A lot of food.
Yes.
I actually prefer the breasts over the whole turkey.
Yeah, and they're easier to cook, that's for sure.
Exactly. It doesn't take all day.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's right, what time on the 21st?
Starting at noon until 3 p.m.
That'd be great.
So I walked in, that was a Thanksgiving, obviously, holiday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't talk about, I was only a couple minutes, you didn't talk about Veterans Day, did you?
No,
Not
we
yet.
just did
Okay, all right,
birthdays
good.
and that's it.
Good. 'Cause I have the info for Veterans Day too, so.
Well, on Veterans Day, we have our regular ceremony that'll be in the Common Council chambers upstairs in City Hall on the 11th at 11 a.m. We'll have the honor guards or the color guards from the different veterans organizations there. The public is not only welcome but encouraged to attend. Following the ceremony upstairs, we'll reassemble outside in the front, on the front lawn. There'll be a rifle salute and the playing of taps. And
it's always very moving.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that's always about an hour or so, the ceremony, just about, yeah.
no more than.
Right.
Is that does the county do anything, or is that like the official Kingston, or is that just
It's
City of Kingston.
City of
Okay.
Kingston, yes.
Do you know if the county does a recognition or a
I'm not aware.
remembrance?
The problem with trying to have the county do it is you have so many individual, like Saugerties will do their own.
Right.
City of Kingston does it.
Okay, yeah. A county one would diminish from the individual.
We run
posts.
into the same thing with parades. When we do a
Right.
Memorial Day parade, there are 8 parades within 30 miles of Kingston
Yes.
on Memorial Day. And everybody's pulling for spectators and
for
participants.
Yeah, floats and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
units
hard.
and, yeah, and
Very
everyone
difficult.
wants a band.
But then you go to the 4th of July, and there's very few.
Yeah.
Yes,
Saugerties puts on one of the best 4th of July parades in the area
they do.
because they don't have any competition.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know
So
most
it's
of the
great
people.
It's great for a parade.
Yeah.
Flying through the village
Oh,
there.
it's
you know,
wonderful.
Flying in the streets, yeah.
And the houses with the porches
Yep,
and everything,
yep.
yeah, it's great.
And boy, do they turn out for it.
They do. Yeah, it's one of the best parades in the area, I have to
forward to
say.
it.
Me too. I do too. Absolutely. So, Cameron, you
Now-
have something
yeah,
going
now
on
on Veterans Day, the Kingston Elks Lodge is having a complimentary pasta meatball dinner. It's complimentary for vets. We're asking $10 for companion meals, and that $10 is going to be going directly to the Elks veterans outreach programs, because as Elks, our focus is children and veterans. The distribution is going to start at 5 to 6. We are asking people to make and we're limiting 100 meals. We can only cook. We can only cook that much in the Elks Lodge, unfortunately. If it's bigger, we do more. But 100 meals, and we're asking people to call 481-0752. Now, there will be drive-ups available, but that's only if we don't have 100 reservations, and that will be after 5:30. So,
and you will probably know the Tuesday before if you have your 100 reservations or not.
I hope so. I'm sure people will be calling that day, but it'll be on our sign shortly. We'll be changing it, but and that's 481-0752 for our Veterans Day drive-through pasta dinner. Homemade Marianne DeGroat. She's going to be helping me make meatballs. I don't want to say spaghetti because spaghetti breaks. Super hard to cook a lot of spaghetti. So probably ziti or penne. I prefer penne. Meatballs, salad, dessert.
Perfect.
Package to go.
That's great.
Complimentary to our vets. But the Elks are inextricably linked to Veterans Day. General Pershing, who was tasked by the president to establish this holiday, was an Elk. Oh. And the 11 o'clock is on every BPOE logo. The clock is set to 11 o'clock because at every Elks Lodge in America, they're only in America, at 11 o'clock there's a toast to our absent members. And the timing of the armistice and all that, General Pershing was assisted that it was 11, 11 o'clock. Yeah, good old General Pershing was a loyal Elk.
What does BPOE stand for?
Benevolent Protective Order of Elks. But it really means the best people
on earth. Right, best people on earth.
But yeah, so that's Veterans Day. So, and with any luck, our new front porch, the deck, and everything will be done, so we can serve people right out the front door.
Oh, that would be
I don't think the roof
perfect.
will be done by then, but certainly the deck and the steps and all that will be done. So.
Well, that's really something nice that the Elks are doing. That's fantastic.
Yeah, this is our third year in a row, which is nice. So
fantastic, great.
How is something else I want to say? Kiwanis and Elks, I know because I'm involved with both. They've been pledging and have been raising money for your capital campaign for the
uniforms
for your new honor guard uniforms.
We are very close to meeting our goal.
Wow,
fantastic!
Excellent.
Which was a lofty goal.
Yes,
We've already started taking people to West Point and having them fitted for the new uniform.
Oh, that's great.
Fantastic!
That's cool.
But as everything goes, usually there's always a glitch. Due to these slowdowns and everything else, certain items are getting hard to find. We have 3 guys who cannot get a hat yet.
Huh.
Oh,
and
with all the problems.
It's a size 7, 7 1/4, and 7 1/8.
Those are average sizes.
And they're average, but they're out of them, and they've been out for a couple of weeks.
Wow.
So
yeah, well, the felt is backed up, so the hat maker can't make the thing. It's probably one of these supply chain, which I don't understand. People just didn't disappear.
No.
Right? All of the employment bump up benefits are expired. There wasn't a supply chain problem 2 years ago. What happened? I do not understand where not everyone got old and retired in 2 years. Not everyone moved away. It's.
So my theory is, this is just my personal
I
theory.
want to hear it because no one's had a decent theory yet.
My theory is that throughout the pandemic, everything was shut down. No one worked. So it's finally caught up to us. All that manufacturing, all the goods that would have been made during that time have now become short. There's a shortage of it because no one worked throughout that year, but took that long to get there because we had such a big supply prior to
we've
that.
depleted the supplies. And
That's my theory, but I don't know.
But I don't know. I mean,
I think there's a lot of factors, and one that is good. One that I had was a lot of these people were getting paid to stay home.
Oh yes.
And now, while they were staying home, they started taking on second jobs here and there, finding other sources of income, and some of them kind of like that other source.
Yeah,
that's another one. Yeah, you're absolutely.
You hear about the bonuses that are being offered. trucking companies in tech. There was this one. They made windmills. A huge windmill turbines. They're offering like $10,000 a week paycheck to drive. To deliver these components all over North America. Trailways in Kingston, 4-day work week, bonuses from day one, $5,000 sign-on bonus. I can't see why there's not a line outside the front door for people and they said they'll send you to diesel mechanic school. Those guys are making good money.
Yes.
Women, they're not. I'm not being.
No,
sexist.
Right.
Those mechanics are making great money. I don't understand.
I keep getting messages online at the KVA website and other places offering veterans opportunities to get. They need people so bad. They're trying everything.
Yes.
Pulling out all the stops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's starting to affect, and then now they're talking about fuel oil and
everything's going up.
Well, natural gas just keeps pumping underground. They don't need a lot of staffers to keep. So why is the price going up? I don't know.
I believe this is true that the United States is probably has the largest reserves of natural gas in the world.
Yep.
Why should we be hurting for it?
I've read it. I've read the same thing, that we have more than enough to meet it's cleaner than oil. I don't know.
But we've been warned those prices are going to go up this winter.
Yes, they are. They are. Propane's going. Everything.
Anyhow. So, the banner. I heard you when the mayor was leaving. I heard you're discussing some of the issues you still have going with the flags, the memorial banners.
We're getting near the end of replacing the banners that have been up the last 2 years. I was out yesterday. We put up 38 of 50 yesterday. I hope to get the rest up this morning. And I have one more shipment that's due in, but it's only for 16 more. And then that'll be it for this year.
That's quite a few.
Yeah.
Whoa,
it's 174. The last time we did it, we did 300. Time before the original time, we did 309. So it's dropped off a little. The new poles along Broadway, this is what I was speaking to the mayor about, they come with the rods already attached.
Right.
They're fabricated that way. Well, when I measured the lower rod, from that rod to the road surface, I got 11 feet 4 inches. The maximum height without a special permit for a tractor, trailer, or a truck is 14 foot.
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not using their poles at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for anybody to use them is going to be a problem.
Well, do they overhang the road? I mean, like next time a 18-wheeler goes to pull over, is it going to start snapping them things off?
Yesterday, right by the Midtown Center, I was replacing the banners there, and a box truck came by. I could have stepped on it and walked across the roof. That's how close to the pole it was.
Wow.
If I didn't have those banners up that high, they would have hit it.
Wow.
It's scared the bagosh out of me. That's how close it was.
Yeah, if you're standing there on a ladder and the thing pulls up next to you, gosh.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yesterday also, I went up to Hudson, and I met with some people there from American Legion, there, Greenport, and Valatia, and they're interested in doing banners in their communities. I took examples up to them. I brought all the information I could, and I've thrown this out on our website, and I'll throw it out here again. If there's any community or organization that's interested in doing banners, contact me. I'll give you all the help I can. I don't get paid by anybody to do this. I do this because I think it's a very, very good project, and it's a great way to honor veterans.
Yeah, I think
by Academy Green, you look, you look down and you see a row of them, and
we're talking off the air. It'd be nice if some other towns in Ulster County actually participate, like on Main Street in Port Union or down in Marlborough, Highland, Ellenville. It'd be really nice. Saugerties, yeah.
The polls is always a consideration as to whether they can do them or not. The new polls are the polls they have in Port Union, for instance. They're too low and they're too close to the road.
So you can't do there. I was thinking because those poles, you notice them. Yeah, they're nice. Yeah, and I thought they'd be perfect for the
You can't hang them on the sidewalk side?
Theirs, I don't know. I don't think so because I think they have the same prefabricated rods coming off of them.
But even in Kingston, even though, let the trucks snap off the prefabricated rod, could you put yours
We sure could.
inbound, inboard,
We
whatever?
could. I think it would look like the devil.
But if it's going to keep them up there,
Yeah.
try a couple. I don't know. I don't know. And maybe you have already.
Well,
I
as
don't
it
know.
turns out, we don't need that many poles this year.
Okay, well.
We've
As long as
taken
it-
care of most of the Rondout area. We went up as far as the old bridge. In the past, we went from there down to the marina. We didn't need to this time. The ones along Washington Avenue, from the bus terminal out towards the Best Western, we took those down, and we took down Schwenk Drive. Schwenk Drive, 5 poles were hit
Really?
over the last 2 years.
By Aaron's drivers, you mean? Or
Apparently. Low-flying condors, I don't know.
they're in California, I think. So. What? Really? 5 poles? That's only 2 blocks long, Schwenk Drive.
Right around Rondout Savings to Ulster Savings in there were 3 poles hit. There was another one down closer to the plaza, and then there was one over on the other side of from Ulster Savings also.
I mean, and that's not a difficult stretch of road. I mean,
No.
it's clear. It's.
When you're texting and not paying attention,
There
and
you
you hit
go.
the curve, and boom, you know.
I guess so.
We just there's a
That's
couple
kinda funny,
places
actually.
across from the drugstore on Broadway there, Pine Grove Avenue. I can't think of the hot dog place.
Right
Oh,
there.
yeah, Dallas Hot Wieners.
Dallas Hot
Dallas.
Wieners. There's 2 poles there where we only put 1 banner on a sidewalk size because every time we did it on the other side, they got hit.
Yeah, there's no parking right there, and yes,
Well, they're delivery
going
trucks
around.
would come
Yeah,
in, bam.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We learned.
The hard way.
And these are the
unfortunately.
things I passed on to these other communities that they need to consider.
Yep.
Right.
Up in the Adirondacks, there's probably 8, 10 different communities that have done these banners. And some of them, the banners are huge. The problem there, that's a huge sail in a strong wind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The rods have been snapped, the banners have been ripped. You can go too big.
Yeah, yeah.
Some
Our
of them-
size, the size that you do is perfect.
They're 18 by 36.
You can see them, you can notice them, but yet they're not overwhelming. Yeah, they're perfect size. What size? I'm sorry, Bill.
18 by 36 inch.
by 36,
The center where the picture is 15 inches square.
Yeah, no, perfect. Absolutely. So you'll finish that project very shortly.
Yeah, as soon as I get that last 16 in.
Yeah.
And they'll be going predominantly in Kingston Plaza and just outside Deach Stadium, the intersection of Washington and North Front Street.
Oh, that's
and
good.
there.
Yeah, that's a busy intersection. That's good. People sitting there.
So I know there's an event coming up, God Save
God and Country?
God and Country. Thank you, because they're actually we're really excited about it because they're going to help Ellenbogen. There's 10 individuals that are going to speak, and Ellenbogen is going to tape their speeches prior to the presentation, and they're going to do all that taping at the Person House
Oh,
on
wow,
Friday.
that's
So we're really excited about that. But that's a great event, and that's happening on Saturday at the Best
23rd.
Western, right?
There's a dinner that evening.
Yes.
Our honor guard will be posting the colors for that. The man that initiated this whole thing, Bob Willis,
Yes.
my hat's off to him. He put so much time, effort, and personal funding into this, in addition to the donations he gets. But he is so committed to this thing, and he's been doing it for many years now. Kingston Veterans Association honored him for his efforts in our community a
Nice.
few years ago at a special dinner.
Right.
I've gone to these dinners. I've met a couple people that there was a man from, originally from Brooklyn, Joe Giannini. He was one of the veterans that they had speak, and he told of his experiences in Vietnam and all, and the problems he's had since. Joe and I had both been writing articles for the Lincoln Eagle, but had never met.
Oh.
We happened to pass in the hallway.
Can't stand him, Mike.
We passed in the hallway at Best Western, and we stopped and looked at each other, and when we put our articles, they put a little picture
Little
of
thumbnail.
you.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
little thumbnail
recognize
photo,
one
yeah.
another.
We both looked and, wow, we were surprised.
That's funny.
And it gets even better. As we're talking there, we said, geez, I know you, and then it popped, oh yeah, you're Joe, yeah, Bill, yeah, and we're talking. And I used to date his wife, 40 years ago or 45
Oh my
years
gosh,
ago.
what a small world.
Where was that? Not
Here in Kingston.
Oh, really? Oh, my goodness. Huh.
That's funny. Yeah, that is. That is.
And Joe's had his problems, and I've been in touch with his mother-in-law. And he's been in the hospital and out. But the presentation out there is great, and these guys, they not only will give a brief speak of their exploits at the dinner, but they take them into the schools, and the children get to hear from them and get to ask them questions, and it's really a great thing he does.
And then during the day, they actually they do a presentation during the day. It's like a day-long
symposium.
And they speak about all their experiences and so forth, the struggles that they faced, and so and he has done it now. How many years did you say? Like 7, 8 years?
Something like that.
Yeah, and it grows every year. So
The last one I think he did was 2 years ago. Last year, due to COVID, he didn't. But 2 years ago, Frank Guido gave me a call and said, I've got a table at the dinner. He said, I'd like to fill it with veterans. And we did. We sat there with Frank. He was the key speaker that night. And it was nice. It's an opportunity to get firsthand from veterans who have been there, done that.
Yes.
Things that normally we don't speak about.
You're absolutely right.
Not even to our own families.
Personalize it and makes it real. Like you said, a lot of people have never heard these types of stories, and it's got to be moving.
And I'm glad that they have Ellen Bogan taping it, and it'll be available online because with the pandemic and so many people being a little hesitant.
Korean War veteran there too, and those guys and those soldiers are aging, so
they're in their 90s.
Their stories need to be recorded now. So.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's a good way to do it. So that's coming up this coming weekend.
Yes, 23rd.
The 23rd, yes.
Now, last month we were talking about an artist was getting ready to paint the globe on the Veterans Memorial on High Street, or near High Street.
Clifton Avenue.
Clifton Avenue, rather, not High Street, yeah.
Highland Avenue is
Highland
also
Avenue,
the intersection. I've been in touch with him. He still hasn't gone up there. I mean, he's done all the preparation. He has the stencils in hand to put the continents back on there. And I said, I hope we can get it done by Veterans Day. And he assured me they would.
That's good.
I keep going by there hoping it's going to be done.
Next time he might be out there painting, so, hopefully.
And we tried to make as many improvements up there as we could. Those trees still need to be trimmed back or taken down. They're the ugliest trees in the city.
They're gnarly.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
And one of them's even got woodpecker holes all the way in it. And
that means it's done.
They're grown. The wires are going through them, and
well, now if the budget passes, there'll be several new employees in the Parks and Rec and DPW. So hopefully that'll.
There's a project.
They'll be able to start checking those to-do items off the list, and
I know if they wait too long, I've noticed a branch here and there keeps
fall over. Yeah. Oh man, they just fall out. The woodpeckers keep pecking through,
away
and
at those
branches just falling. That sawdust, that woodpecker sawdust on the ground, gives it away. Right?
And as I've said in the past, we are still hurting for people. The banners, I've got the same small group of guys that have been doing these from the start since 2014. And none of them got any younger since then.
Yeah. And there's plenty of young vets in this area, men and women who've served in, the last 20, 15 years, so.
And if somebody wants to join, do they just reach out to you?
Walk in the door.
What? Yeah.
They can go right to the VFW, right to the American Legion. They can go there if they're interested in going into the Marine Corps League. Going into the disabled veterans, they can also get that information there. Or you can go to kingstonvets.org, our website. Each organization has information there about joining, about when they meet, when, where, what time, and all that.
Locations, all that, yeah.
At kingstonvets.org. The website is not as up-to-date as we'd like to be.
If you get somebody young involved, they can update your website.
The guy that was keeping it up has since passed on, and I am not the most computer literate person in
No,
town.
you need the right person to do
I
that.
do what I can.
Yeah.
Frequently, I have to reach out to my brother in North Carolina to give him access to go in and he can fix things.
Oh, he's good at it.
Fix
Okay.
it remotely. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's another call to action for younger vets in our community.
Yes.
That a reason they need computer help. So, however we can help get the word out, we're more than happy to. So
I had a man contact me through that website about an individual, Charles Van Gasbeck, who was killed in 1944 in a town in France. The town in France wanted to honor him. They're going to put a monument or something in a park there. I Googled the guy's name online, and I found a picture of him and a story about how he'd been killed. And he was from Kingston. I had a banner made for him. I put that up yesterday. It's on Broadway across from the telephone company.
Yeah.
Joe B's over there or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Right now, on that side of the street.
Unfortunately, we're running out of time. But why does France went on? Did he do something to help that town, or he saved the cathedral or something?
I don't know, but he was killed there.
We have a homework assignment.
And a relative of his is from Malden is coming down today to look at it.
Wow,
That's really nice that you did that, Bill. Yeah.
Bill, I mean, honestly, that'd be interesting if you could find out why this town in France wants to honor an American GI. Save the town treasures.
Certainly contact them and find out.
Yes,
That'd be interesting.
that would
might
be interesting. An interesting human
might be a neat
interest
story.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Bill, we're out of time. So, Bill, thank you so much. Keep up the good
Yes,
work.
we'll see you next month.
And it'll be just a few days before Veterans Day when we see you next month. Oh, it'll be just after. It'll be after Veterans Day. Well, you'll report on the ceremony.
Yes, sir.
And tell us how our meatballs were. All right, cool. Bill, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, man. All right, Dan.
Thank you, Nina Postapak, Cameron Rylance, and thank you so much, Bill Forte, Kingston Veterans Association. It's now at the bottom of the hour, and you're with us on Kingston Community Radio, KCR at AM 920 and 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. Tuesday, October 19th, 41 degrees here in Uptown Kingston. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio was brought to you by Robert Baum Commercial Realty, located at 79 St. James Street, Kingston, New York. Visit rgbaum.com for more information. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, this is Tony Marmo from Norman Staffing, and we've been bringing together employers and job seekers since 1980. If you're an employer and have job vacancies, let Norman Staffing help fill them with permanent or temporary workers. We screen, interview, and recommend the best candidates for your company. We make the employment process easier and faster for you. Please call Norman Staffing for your employment needs at 338-9111, 338-9111, or normanstaffing.com.
A lot of talk about the COVID-19 vaccines, and everyone has an opinion. So I went to somebody I already trusted, my doctor. Talk to your doctor or healthcare provider and make the decision that's right for you. Go to getvaccineanswers.org for the latest information. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
How do airplanes fly? What's in this box? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Learn how to store your gun securely and make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Scott Harrington from Hurley, and I support Kingston Community Radio because the people need a place to have their voice heard, and it's lost in corporate radio, so please keep listening and supporting our station.
And we're back. You're with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, WGHQ 920 on your AM dial, 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. Your call-in number is 331-9255, 331-9255. Happy to hear from you. Nothing but sunshine today with a high of 66 and a few passing clouds tonight, a low of 51. And Wednesday, tomorrow, partly cloudy skies with a high of 74. And Wednesday night, clear skies with a few passing clouds, a low of 49. Thursday, 72 is our high with partly cloudy skies. A lot of sun on Thursday, too. And Thursday night, a shower or two comes through. And It's about a 40% chance of showers with a low of 52 on Thursday. Now let's get back to the on-air studio. After acknowledging the underwriter for this segment of Kingston Community Radio, it's Rondell Savings Bank. Always working for you and our community with branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and also online at rondoutbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Rondout Savings Bank. Let's get back to the on-air studio with Nina Postpack, Cameron Rylance, and Christine Hine.
The second busiest woman in the city of Kingston.
There you go.
Christine Hine right here.
And we're talking about how tiring you can get.
Yeah, we just saw you, 11 hours ago. We were at Bailey practicing kickers.
We were.
Doing my dance moves and
That's
whatever, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Welcome.
Caper's good thing.
You got a bunch of Christmas. We were just talking about Christmas. You got Christmas stuff, I see. What's going on here?
I do.
You're not glossing past Thanksgiving, because I know People's Place and Thanksgiving are
we're
like
not glossing past
literally
Thanksgiving, ever.
Pillars of the community.
Yes, absolutely.
People's Place feeds hundreds of people.
Yeah. So, so we have so much to talk about in this next 25 minutes. I feel like we're going to be like, the auctioneer. Speed, right, to get everything in. So yes, we do have Talkin' Turkey, which is our Thanksgiving program, in which we provide a turkey and all of the ingredients to make a meal at home, because we feel it's so important for people to be able to have a holiday feast with family or friends, or family and friends at home if they have the ability to cook in their house. I think some of the best memories are created around the dinner table, and folks who are oftentimes struggling with food security don't have that extra income to be able to buy all the extra you do for a Thanksgiving meal. So people can register at People's Place. We start at the beginning of October for Talkin' Turkey, and when you register, the distribution day will be November 22nd, but registration only goes until November 18th. So
what day is it? Day of
November
the week,
18th. November 18th is a Thursday, and November 22nd is the Monday before Thanksgiving.
Monday before Thanksgiving,
because
okay.
you have to have time to thaw your turkey out.
Sure.
The turkeys are all frozen, but you get a turkey and potatoes and green beans and corn and sweet potatoes and stuffing and cranberry sauce and apple pie and butter and everything to make
complete meal in a box.
Yeah, to make a Thanksgiving feast.
Now, are you looking for community volunteers for that, or are you pretty much set? Do you need?
We always can use volunteers to help out, especially on. Believe it or not, the main distribution day is the 22nd, but we always have people who, for whatever reason, were working or somebody was sick. They couldn't leave the house on the 22nd, and they come in on the 23rd. So we really need oftentimes extra volunteers on the 23rd and the 24th. But yeah, if you're interested in volunteering for Thanksgiving, give us a call, or you can go online to peoplesplace.org. There is a volunteer application right online, and there's a comment part, and you can put down to help out with Thanksgiving or Project Santa.
And I'm amazed at the amount of families that you actually feed throughout the Thanksgiving season.
What kind of numbers?
Yeah. Last year we did just a couple over 1,400. It was like 1,402 or something like that. So we know we had.
How many turkeys was that?
1,400.
I thought those people. Oh my gosh!
No, those are households. Those are households. No, those are households.
So those are.
Yeah, those are households.
1,400 complete feasts in a box. Holy.
Correct. So I think we did look at somewhere over 4,000 individuals.
The volume of 1,400 frozen turkeys.
Yeah.
Physical volume.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Yes, it's a lot. Diamond Mills oftentimes historically have gotten us all of our turkeys, so they've signed on to help us with that again this year. So thank you to Tom Strazzeri and Diamond Mills. They usually get them, bring them over. We actually have started getting some early because of everybody saying there's going to be a turkey shortage this year. I don't know. That's what they're saying. Supply chain with turkeys, I'm not really sure.
I have no problem with the Thanksgiving ham. None at all.
None
at all.
No. We're going to, we are going to make every attempt to do what we say.
There you go.
So that's registration for Talkin' Turkey. And then also at the same time, if you have children, you can register for Project Santa. Project Santa is our toy distribution program, and we raised the age this year to age 16. So if you have children, I still think kids, even though they're 16 and 15, think they're adults. We all know, as being an adult, that they're not an adult.
Yes.
So, I think that it's important, when somebody said, well, but they're older and, kids they can work for their things that they need and stuff.
No,
but, it's about the
Day,
parent being.
Little siblings.
And you want the parent to be able to, you never want, I always feel bad, folks struggle, and your kids should not ever have to know if you are struggling, So we raised to 16, and if you're not familiar, listeners, with what Project Santa is, it's a gift distribution program. People come in, they register their children, and then they will get a date and a time to come in the week of December 13th. And they'll be given a gift package that has winter weather items, scarves, mittens, hats. Everything is brand new. They get a board game or craft. They get a main gift, which has a value of at least $25. We've been on the hunt and purchasing those Squishmallows are supposed to be extremely popular this year. It's on the hot toy list, so I was like, oh my gosh! So I have all my little elves out there buying Squishmallows. We're cornering the market on Squishmallow. Anyway, so a toy. Then they get a... books. I feel books are really important. So we've been working. I had to give her a shout out. Nora Shear is phenomenal, and she has been helping us with the books for several years, but she's been working on them since July.
She's amazing.
All new books, brand new books. And then they get a stocking, and the stocking is filled with stocking stuffers. And then often another smaller toy. So really what we've tried to create is the parent, there's, everybody's struggling. Everybody is got so much on their plate and time constrictions is they only have to make this short stop at people's place, and they'll be able to get a complete Christmas for their child, and it's for each child in their household. So there's really no need to have to go to another, another and another and another. We try to make it easy. So that's Project Santa, and registration for Project Santa is happening now, and that goes until December 10th.
And I know over the summer you did a fundraiser for Project Santa, but you also can use, even up to now, donations for Project Santa, right?
Yes.
Because that's continual right up to the time when people are picking
We're
up.
running out buying things midweek, even though we started on the 13th, and you see how much it goes down, and then what do you need for the ages of the children. But we are doing a couple other fundraisers to help out with Project Santa and the overall operations of People's Place. We do, I think the one that's coming up that will be most fun for individuals is we are going to do a Ulster County's first holiday tree hunt.
Oh.
And so what that's going to be is businesses throughout all of Ulster County can participate by signing up with People's Place for $100 plus a $25 gift certificate. They can get their name put in the holiday tree hunt guide. And there will be 5,000 of those made throughout the county, and they'll be at all the participating businesses, plus the Airbnbs and hotels and motels and bed and breakfasts around town, so that anybody can get a guide, and they can go to all the different stores that are listed and participating throughout the county in the holiday tree hunt guide. The business has to have a Christmas tree in their business, and they're responsible for decorating it. But folks can just go to the businesses. Hopefully they'll support the local businesses. That's we figured it's a fundraiser for People's Place, but it's also a support to our local businesses, because our local businesses really support us wonderfully. So that's a fun, free thing for the community to do.
Oh, that's a
So that you
great
get a
idea.
stamp, you check off the
they'll get
list or
checked
whatever.
off
That's cool.
Each spot will get checked off, and then if you get 30 stops, you can send it back to People's Place or drop it in the Santa mailbox at Deet Stadium Diner. And then on the 20th, it goes to from the Wednesday before Thanksgiving until December 19th. And then on the 20th and 21st, we're going to pull the people who have returned their tree hunt guides, and they are the people who will win the $25 gift cards that we're collecting.
That's cool. So a lot of people can win.
Yeah.
You know,
we're hoping to get
whatever.
72 businesses.
Wow,
so
that's
should be
cool.
72 winners.
That's a very cool idea.
Yeah, so that's free for people. And then in addition to for our holiday festival, so we've got the Ulster County Holiday Tree Hunt. That's free to the community. The businesses are participating in that. We're also doing a Festival of Trees. And so we had 20 organizations sponsor a tree that we've decorated at People's Place. And then we will have a mingle and jingle cocktail party that people can buy a ticket to. It will be a limited number because of COVID that can purchase a ticket. So you can call People's Place at 338-4030 to get a ticket. They're $50. The cocktail party will be November 2nd. It is being sponsored by Ulster Savings Bank. And the Festival of Trees overall is being sponsored by Roundout Savings Bank. And you can come to the cocktail party and get a sneak peek at all of the trees. And the trees will go live online on the 3rd, and people will be able to bid on those trees for 2 weeks.
So November 2nd
so you
is
can
the cocktail party.
the decorations and the ornaments.
Get the whole tree. The trees,
Wow.
we bought the trees all brand new, and they're all decorated with items that are donated to People's Place.
That's cool.
Oh, that's
And,
fantastic.
Heidi has been working so hard. Heidi Hill-Hatter, she's our deputy director, and she owned a store in Gardner, Hi-Ho Homes, and she's been decorating trees for 2.5 weeks. We're down to the last one. She's got the one more to do. She started it last night, and so
Are
people
they
can come and
themed
preview them.
trees?
They are. Each
Okay.
tree has its own theme. And
That's
they're
a lot of fun.
really, really cute. John Fisher is coming this week to photograph the trees for them to be put up on the website. So I want to give a big thank you to John Fisher Photography because he's doing that gratis for us. And
if you come to the cocktail party, you get a sneak preview.
Correct.
So you can...
And you can make a pre-bid on the trees, too.
Okay.
But we have a great guest speaker, Bruce Littlefield. I don't know if anybody knows him that's listening, but he is an Ulster County resident. But he's an American author who's written several books.
Oh, fantastic.
But one of the books is Christmas Across America, and it's all lights. So he is going to come and give a little chat, a little kind of anecdotal story. He's hysterical. He's such a great guy. And give away a few of his autographed books. And he was a co-author with Barbara Corcoran, the Shark Tank lady.
Oh, yeah.
Is that how did I say her name
yes.
right? And she gave him a couple of books to do. And I think we're going to get a Shark Tank tree to also give away
there you
that
go.
night.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I think it'll be a fun evening. So it's open to the public if you buy a ticket because
And
it is a fundraiser.
And how do we get tickets?
You can call 338-4030. You can text me, call me, email me. Director at peoplesplace.org.
Right? Cool idea.
Yeah, so the tickets are $50. Limited number are being sold.
So November 2nd, is that?
It's November 2nd. It is
Tuesday?
election day,
Okay.
but the cocktail party is from 4:30 to 6:30, so you
Okay.
can still go do your
Okay.
election stuff.
Just
after
vote
the
early,
cocktail
first of
party.
all, so the second's open.
Yeah,
That's right.
Vote
That's
early,
right.
early voting.
Yep.
There you
And
go.
so, have our chef, Kim Protus, from the Community Cafe is going to be making all the nibbles for the cocktail party. So I think it'll be a fun evening. And it's we were joking about, when Christmas is, and yes, Thanksgiving is in the middle there. We can't forget Thanksgiving. But it is a kickoff to the holiday season. So, and we're doing it early so people bid on their trees and then they can get their tree the week of Thanksgiving because the auction will close the Saturday before Thanksgiving so that you can just bring your tree home. And
Yes,
there it is in your
perfect.
office or in your business or in your house. And
Shrink wrap it, put it on the roof, and drive
everything
home, right?
is wired on. So
Ah.
they're movable. Heidi has you could shake the little trees and nothing comes off of them.
I like
So,
fantastic.
Yeah,
What a
yeah.
great
so
idea.
it's
Take it up into the basement and put it up next year.
yeah, it's going to be fun, and it's all things we need to do to raise money for Project Santa, for Talking Turkey. It's an expensive program. We're buying, most of the turkeys we get donated, like I said, through Diamond Mills, but we buy all of the apple pies. That's 1,400 apple pies. That's a lot. The butter, the stuffing,
Even
all
if
that
they're
stuff.
$2 each, that's a lot of money.
And pies are $4.99.
Yeah, well, the bang, wow.
So, because they're a full size
pie,
pie baked, not.
And you also had the rooftop Santa this summer too.
We
for
did,
that
we
effort.
did,
So
celebrating
you're
Santa.
at least three fundraisers.
Christmas in July.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, you've been thinking about this for months. So
We have been working on this
Wow.
for months,
lot.
But yeah, so, and then we have all of our normal things happening at People's Place. We have the Wellness Empowerment Center, which is still offering 1 to 2 to 3. I wave to
the sound
Dan. He's
man.
the power of sound every Thursday. I think at 11 o'clock is what time?
11 o'clock, and last week Leah Garnier from Sage Academy came and did a beautiful sound bath for all the members. It was amazing.
Yeah. It's great.
Absolutely amazing, and more to come.
Yeah.
It's ongoing. There's no wrap up. We keep moving on.
Yeah.
So even in the spring, we'll still be doing the Power of Sound.
There you go. We love it. And people are really, enjoying it. We do yoga,
Your
meditation.
theme days are catching
Yeah.
on, and people are getting,
Mindful Monday, so we're doing journal writing now and meditation and yoga, and Tasty Tuesdays, all about food. This morning or this afternoon, a nutrition class is being started for folks who have young people in their homes, children in their homes, and that's in partnership with Cornell Cooperative Extension. So there's still time to sign up for that if you want to sign up for that. And they're Wednesdays, Wellness Wednesdays, so we have workout programs. Mary Tuma does exercise class. We have yoga in the morning and exercise at 1:30. Thursdays, Thriving Thursdays, so that's always kind of changing, except for Power of Sound every Thursday. And Fridays are Fiscal Friday, sponsored by the Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. And someone from the credit union comes every Friday, and they do different programs. Super, super easy to sign up for any of the classes and workshops. You just go to our website, peoplesplace.org, and click on Wellness Empowerment Center, and you can see all the different classes and register. Registration is free, and it is open to anyone in the community.
That's fantastic.
With
That's
that,
great.
we still have the community cafe. Another note that's happening next Monday, the 25th of October, we are doing Pfizer booster shots at the community cafe from 10 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. I think it's 10 to 3. But you can call People's Place, 338-4030, to register for your booster shot for Pfizer. It's right at the Community Cafe, which is at 775 Broadway. Community Cafe is open every day, Monday through Friday.
Did they issue guidelines? Was it 6 months for Pfizer? Do you know for booster shot 6 months after
I
initial?
think it is. It started out as 8, and I think they lowered it. And they're also doing first and second shots of Pfizer.
Oh, so you can
So you can also come, if you haven't gotten your COVID shot yet, you can come on Monday, October 25th, and get your first shot. Or if you've gotten your first one, you need your second. Or if you've gotten the 2 and it's 6 months, you can come and get your booster shot. And of course,
You do have to call to make a reservation.
of course, it's all free. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they'll allow walk-ins, but they want to try to spread people out because we don't want anybody having to wait. So if you can call, that would be most ideal. Not imperative, but most ideal.
Yeah.
And that number again is 338-4030, or just Google People's Place, and peoplesplace.org will show up.
And what was the time again on that, Christine, for the shot?
Almost positive it's 10 to 3.
10 to 3.
10 to 3 Monday in the community cafe. So, and then of course, means we have a couple more minutes, we're going to talk about our Happy Cart.
Yeah.
So the Happy Cart is every Wednesday night from 4:30 to 6:30, and that is in partnership with the Institute for Animal Happiness. And again, our chef, Kim, creates a meatless meal. It's actually not just meatless, dairy-free. It's a vegan meal, plant-based. And we offer it for free for folks to try it. Volunteers from Institute for Animal Happiness are there, and they have some information about plant-based eating. All of them are vegan, so they can give you all kinds of tips and information about that. But we're doing it mostly to try to educate folks and see you don't have to have meat at every meal. It's actually healthy. You can, eat your veggies, your grains, your beans. They're fabulous. She makes phenomenal things. We share how you make it. A lot of times we give out different ingredients that we use that day, chickpeas, or we have gotten in vegan mayo from the food bank, but vegetables and things like that. We're really focusing on the health part of it, and we just think it's a great idea. And it's also, if you're working on a budget, it is a fairly inexpensive way to eat.
Right.
Now, it's like squashes. I mean, roast squash for dinner one night and puree soup for lunch the next day. It's
Well, the farm
so
stand
much.
is happening as we speak. It's today and tomorrow, and next Tuesday are our last days, and the root vegetables are all starting to come in.
Right, that's right.
After the farm stand ends next week, we still will have all of that out at our bounty table, and that's every single day in front of People's Place. You don't have to come into the location. You can just go to the table and pick
Oh, that's
what
nice.
you like. Yep, it's out front every day. Usually we set it up around 9:30, and it's pretty picked over by 12:30.
When you say out front, is that the parking lot side?
Parking lot
Okay.
side, yes. I know, right? We have two fronts now.
Yeah, and the front, that's fancy. The
parking lot
front is beautiful.
Yeah,
where the
it
cafe
is. Yeah,
with
yeah,
the parking.
cafe and the wellness center.
Yes. Oh, is that where the entrance is? The wellness
Yes.
center? Oh, okay.
You
Okay.
enter the wellness center. It's a door a little bit down from the cafe. It's actually over the community cafe.
Oh, where the old Michael's door was? Or no?
Where the gym was. There's
Oh,
a
okay.
gym
Yeah,
up
yeah,
there.
yeah.
There's a
yeah.
boxing club up there.
Not only is Christine Hine one of the busiest people in the community, anytime you go by People's Place when it's open, it's one of the busiest places in the community.
Good.
And anyone can shop there too. You know, we have the thrift store, and the thrift store is our main economic engine. So it scratched my head when people will talk about how they'll shop at other, I'll say big box thrift stores, but they would never come to People's Place because they feel they're taking it away from somebody. But that's not the truth. It's there. We give clothes away for free to folks. We give new beginning packages away to folks for free, pots and pans and things that they need, sheets to, if they're starting over or just starting out. But it's open for anyone to come and shop. And, I'd say that we were green before green was cool. Because we've been reusing and repurposing
Upcycling and
for almost 50 years.
And that's a great distinction to make, that please come shop. That's your main economic vehicle. So
Right.
Give
And
it
we
a
have
whirl.
fabulous things.
Come
The
on in.
Community is wonderful. They
absolutely,
donate
yes.
beautiful things. We get calls every day about donations. What we ask for with donations is, first of all, we don't take furniture or beds, things like that, because we just don't have the space. And we always suggest that you call Habitat for something like that, because they have the space and they love that kind of stuff, the furniture and things like that. And they do great work, helping build houses. So we love to partner with people. But for People's Place, if you're donating smaller items, housewares, toasters, pots, pans, clothing, jewelry, handbags, etc., all we ask is that they're all freshly washed, because we do not have the capability, nor the volunteer staff, to wash your clothes or to wash your things. And they might have been clean when you put them in the garage 4 years ago or in the attic, but they're not anymore. And I know sometimes folks get a little upset, and I feel badly because I don't want anybody who comes to People's Place to be upset, but we just don't have the capability to clean things. So there's some things that we don't take like VHS tapes and DVD tapes anymore, just because people don't take them, and then they're taking up space for things that people really do use. And we really pride the thrift store on being there for folks who either are there because they're shopping, because they only want to buy recycled and reused things, or they know they're going to get great buys, or it's the only place they can shop. We don't want to put out chipped plates or things with scratches and things with little nicks, or clothes that are missing a button or have a stain on them. We want everybody to feel a sense of dignity and pride. When they come and shop. So, but it is open to anyone. So most definitely come and visit us. We have people who have been coming from, a couple people from Connecticut. One day somebody came down from Albany. They just Google thrift. There are people who just Google thrift stores and travel around, check them out. So.
That's great.
You never know what you can find.
No, you
Right,
don't.
and when you're shopping, you're supporting the 24 programs that we do at People's Place, because other than the thrift store, everything else we do is free.
Very true. Very
So
true.
all of our program, all of our food we never charge for. All the specialty food programs like Bag Summer Hunger, Bag Holiday Hunger, Thanksgiving are all free. Project Santa, we don't charge anything for. All of the classes and workshops at the Wellness Empowerment Center are free. All the food at the Community Cafe is free. So,
Just think about that, folks, for a minute. Listen to what she's actually saying.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
yes.
turkeys are out the door.
Last year we gave out over 1 million meals.
Yeah, a
Between
million.
all of the different programming that have to do with food security.
just phenomenal.
It was like 1.1 million meals.
It's everybody in Ulster County 5 times.
Yeah, right.
Literally,
Yeah.
It's everybody in the county 5 times.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, very true. So, Christine, quickly, I know we have to go, but contact information for the fundraiser, if people want to volunteer, donate, whatever
Sure.
the case may be.
Anything that we've talked about, soon the Festival of Trees will be up on our website. The tickets for the Mingle and Jingle cocktail party sponsored by Ulster Savings Bank will be up on the website probably in a day. Those tickets are $50. You can go to peoplesplace.org or you can call us at 338-4030 for any of our programming, any of our events. I have phenomenal volunteers that answer the phones and will chat with you and answer all of your questions, because I think we need to start putting the human back in humanity.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Well, that's a perfect
Thank
way
you.
to end the show. I don't even want to say anything. Christine, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Nina, it's been great.
Same here, Cameron.
Terrific
Everybody
Tuesday.
have a good day.
Thank you, listeners.
Enjoy your
Dan, why don't you
Tuesday.
take it away?
Thank you, Nina Postapak, Cameron Rylance, and many, many thanks to Christine Hine for coming in regard to People's Place. Thank you for sharing the morning with us and participating in Kingston Community Radio, KCR, AM 920, 92.5 FM, and our live streaming on mykcr.org. Talk radio at its best, inspired discussions of, by, and for the community. And we thank all our guests today for being with us. And this last portion of Kingston Community Radio was brought to you by Rondout Savings Bank, always working for you and the community with branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and Hyde Park, and also online at rondoutbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. We invite you to join us tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., 7 to 9 a.m. for a Super Wednesday. Until tomorrow, we wish you every success in growing and developing Kingston and all our neighboring communities, and we now return you back to Magic 92.5.
And then